Hey, to the guys who wanted to petition as truckers or with truckers, if you're looking to do something good, like the freedom to have safe air to breathe and homes that don't get destroyed by climate catastrophes, is you don't. Civil disobedience is when you disagree with something because there's a difference between right and wrong, where a law is wrong at the time. And science helps make that common sense, or sometimes just opening your eyes to what's really happening in the world. So civic disobedience, folks, is something that I've said a few years ago already to Canadian society. If you want to save Canada, if you want to be sure Canada doesn't commit suicide by oil industry, is go petition against electing any conservatives in Canada. Because if they, as a majority, support the oil industry uh, and will keep subsidizing them when often they won't even make money because often the competition for it or the resources used cost more in energy than they give out. And then they say, oh, yeah, we have to raise the price of oil because, you guys are still kind of not petitioning through civil disobedience to have more efficient public transit, to have some of the nicer, smaller vehicles that could still be gas powered, but a lot smaller, like they have in Asia. And you're also kind of not realizing how fracking has a serious impact on earthquakes and cancerous chemicals in the groundwater. All these things where, the oil industry is using the template that cigarettes did, and yet you haven't conquered getting off cigarettes or smoking anything else as a species. You're not going to conquer your oil addiction because, I mean, if you find ways to make your energy cheaper, then you just consume more of it. Like you're addicts at everything. Everything. You're addicts at even your dysfunctional thinking. It's like a spinning wheel that gives you a high. So if some people want to prepare themselves this year or next year to be, tying themselves up and putting their bodies, against the RCMP, let's say, to stop pipelines, is the best thing to do is start now just going outside the MLAs or MPs offices who are supporting an oil industry in Canada. And they'll say, well, we can't transition too quickly out of that. And then you'll say, oh, yes, build some bicycle paths more, fund more public transit, including, trains and things, but get them done not by your friends or the lowest bidder, because eventually, you'll lose money in that way. Because the lowest bidder has the lowest quality a lot of the time. And, you can't brag as a politician, oh, we went for the lowest bidder, and you don't investigate enough, and you don't kind of build in kind of warranties where the supplier that gave you the low bid has to do things very quickly, otherwise you take them to court, and you can put pressure on them. You have to care more about the people you serve as MLAs and MPs, and you got to do it more than your 4 years, because as ecological and social systems are speeding up their collapse because of what's wrong with you as a species up here, is you won't be dead by the time people say, I can't believe you did this in the 4 years. And we're going to now freeze the accounts of MLAs and MPs who kind of received the data that this was the wrong thing to do. And yet they flew to this conference, they went to this one, promoting, for oil industries or for life getting back to normal or business as usual, or for growth economies that are scientifically impossible and, of course, morally wrong. So people start petitioning in politics before you have to, out of desperation, when, cancers increase, or when people lose their homes because of climate events, or because poisoning from the oil industry, is start going to the offices of MLAs and MPs, and if they don't support oil, tell them to say it on record, on your videos, on your cameras, and save these files with the names, the dates. Get them to commit, whether it's election time or not. Get them to commit. I think they will remember if you show up as a group and ask questions about whether they will support types of economies as Canadian politicians that will help self-destruct Canada. So do this civil duty as soon as possible so that it doesn't get to the point that you have to go get arrested somewhere. Do it now, and don't wait for election time. Do it now. I'm sure a lot of you would like to go help in Ukraine or don't know how to help. Do this now. Any kind of helping locally to mitigate the crashes that are coming, the sooner the better. Thank you, people.